Hello and welcome into the Calcio Connection podcast, connecting with you, Italian football fans from all over the world. I am Alex Donno. He is Jerry Mancini. And Jerry, I kind of wanted to turn this episode into a little bit of a vent session for both of us. Early on in the Serie A season, the teams that we support are not exactly in the best of form. Inter currently have 6 points with 2 wins, 2 losses, no draws so far, 10th on the Serie A table. Lazio currently 13th in the Serie A table with just 3 points, 1 win, 3 losses so far this year. Obviously, plenty of time for both clubs to turn things around. Lazio's in a very different situation, though, coming out of a transfer ban and a lot of injuries. With Inter, I'll explain the issue. It's pretty simple in my eyes. But, I mean, how you feeling, Jerry? You feel a little miserable watching Calcio so far?
Not really, because I know that Lazio's shit. Who gives a crap? My expectations are so low that I don't even care.
I haven't watched that much Lazio, admittedly, so far this year, just because they've not been in prominent spotlight games, given where the team is right now. So I can kind of understand your frustration.
Como, they played very poorly. Against Sassuolo, they played very good, but didn't create much in the final third. Against Verona,
Sassuolo's 1 win on the season?
Yes. And then we beat Verona. It looked convincing after week 2. Yeah. And then against Roma, again, I thought they outplayed Roma, but
I did watch a little bit of that game. Yeah, and again, I thought you outplayed them. Yeah.
But all it comes down to, it's a game of chess. Like, whoever makes a mistake, it's over, right? So I don't know why they had started the match with Rovella, knowing that he wasn't 100%. And they say, I was reading just moments ago that they're going to elect not to have surgery and that he's going to do rehab and recover properly. But I don't know. And the problem is we didn't have a transfer market this summer. Now, half of our midfield's out. Della Basharu is out. Rovella is out. Vecino still hasn't come back yet. I don't even know why they even re-signed that guy. The guy's a dead corpse now. No, hate to say it, but our midfield is so depleted that all we have next Monday against Genoa is Cataldi. That is a concern for me, man.
You need to play like a 6-man back line, four forwards. Just bypass the midfield.
Well, they're saying that Sarri will change his formation to a 4-2-3-1, and because he only has Cataldi available to him, and I don't know if he's going to reinstate Toma Basic into the lineup. I would, because at this point you don't just you don't let your defenders move up into midfield and start. It doesn't work for me. I think you should put, as much as Basic he's in the last year of his deal and hasn't played, I think, professional football, like an actual professional match since last year. I think you can't. You take a chance and that's it. Can't be any worse than what we have right now. I'm gonna be honest, because Della Basharu is a horrible midfielder. The guy's a sprinter who goes in a straight line, but has got no technical ability. It's very bad, man. But it is what it is at this point. Lazio is going to be battling against relegation. I truly believe that.
And I mean, obviously it's trending that way, but we've had 4 match days so far out of 38. With the early struggles, how much of it, if any, do you put on Maurizio Sarri, or is it just strictly about his personnel, like the players he gets? It's hard for me, especially based on what you just told me, to put more than a 5% blame on the manager in that situation.
I blame Sarri on only one thing, really, and that comes down 2 things, I guess. One is the formation. He's got to get out of this 4-3-3. Unless you spent $80 million and bought 10 new players, and he had players before, Sergei Milinkovic-Savic, Luis Alberto, where he tried adapting into his 4-3-3, where it looked okay, but it also didn't look okay. He has nobody to play in his formation. So for me, it's you got to adapt to what you have, and he has to get out of this 4-3-3, like I just said, that he just constantly uses, and should use something new in order to adapt to the personnel he has. I also don't understand why you're starting players who are injured. Bad enough, I see that with Chelsea, and I gotta see this with Lazio. Like, Ravello is the best player. Like, why are you gonna risk a player for one game to lose him for 9 games? Like, it's just stupid. Yeah. Now you're scrambling to try to find players to play in the midfield. It's just really dumb. So it's gonna be. I just wonder if Saudi is one of the first coaches to either eat some panettone or. I don't know, man. If I'm saying it right,
it's if you get sacked, it means you don't eat the panettone because we eat the panettone on Christmas.
He's gonna be eating scraps.
He's gonna be eating dog food or something. But honestly, like it doesn't sound to me like it's fair to scapegoat the manager. I know that it's a lot easier to sack a manager than it is to change your players like in the fall, but it doesn't sound to me like Saudi deserves to be a sacrificial lamb here. By the way, Jerry, I want to say hello to those who are in our live chat right now, including, do you remember, talking about blast from the past, do you remember our guy Cliff, who we've had on the show a few times? Do you remember Cliff?
Yes. Whatever happened to that guy?
Maybe he'll tell us here. I mean, knowing Cliff is probably like a Fortune 500 guy. He's probably like making $1 billion because he's a go-getter, Cliff. And he's saying Saudi's going to eat shit.
Pretty much is what he's been doing since he's taken over.
Cliff, let us know if you're a billionaire now, please. I would like to know, and I'd like to borrow some money if you are.
Yeah, for real.
Oh man, hello to Anthony. Anthony's always here, and we love him. And hello to Paulie, who says he's here because he knows I'm a Miami guy. I hope your podcast takes off simply because you're a Miami fan. Jerry, have I converted you into a Miami fan? Or because usually when you text me, you're like, Miami sucks because you love trolling me. Are you a Miami fan?
MLS is shit, man. It's so
no,
bad.
I don't care about MLS. But what about what about college football? College football,
buddy. The amount of college football I watch is 0 because they only show like the stupid. What is it? The ACC or the top 10, and it's always like Duke. Not Duke, Notre Dame. I see Notre Dame every freaking Saturday. It's enough of this Notre Dame. They're the worst team to watch. I'm sorry, they're terrible. Like their fans, everything. It's just an ugly team. Such an ugly team. Ugly uniform. Yeah, I probably support University of Miami only because of you. So I know that. I listen to Oilers Now a lot, and I know Bob Stauffer, the host, is a big on Alabama. Talks about Alabama.
Yeah, there's a lot. Guy. There's a lot of Alabama fans for sure.
He was telling me Alabama
even in Florida. Like I run into a lot of Alabama. They're all over the country for sure, and probably all over Canada too.
Before I know we're getting off track here, but is university so U of M, are they like rivals with the Gators?
Yeah, we beat the Gators last week.
Yeah, Gators are shit. Yeah,
I've been talking a lot of smack since then, and my son knows some Gator fans that go to school with him, and I gave him permission to talk a little trash. So I hope that when he's 7 years old and he's out there talking trash. I hope.
Yeah. I know we're going off topic here, but it is what it is. College football is huge, man. I think we could talk about it another day. I have a whole like conspiracy theory that I feel like by the time they're done their college career, when they get into the NFL, they're already done. Their body's already worn down and they can't make that money they're supposed to make.
It happens sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah. Well, let's get into before we get into some of the games that are coming up this weekend in the Serie A. I let Jerry vent a little bit on Lazio. I'll vent a little bit on Inter. And look, okay, the form has been better in terms of results the last 2 games. 2-0 win at AJAX in Champions League. And if we might see it again this season. Like last year, Inter until the final, but you don't have to remind me how that went. I know people will. But until the final, Inter were performing better in Champions League than they performed in Serie A. Maybe we'll get the same thing this season. But after beating Ajax 2-0, Inter did get a should have been more lopsided than it was, but wasn't. 2-1 win against Sassuolo, who has not been very good so far this year. And that came after Inter had 2 consecutive losses in Serie A, inexcusable loss at home to Udinese, and a loss at Juventus, which as a result is not that bad, but they had a 3-2 second half lead and they couldn't hold on to it. And Jerry, that's what I see being the big problem this year for Inter. And it's the most predictable problem that Inter could have after the transfer market that they had, where everybody was screaming, you need to fortify the back line. You need to fortify your back three with depth, make some more young signings, because when you have a guy like Francesco Acerbi, who was, 60 years old out there, starting and playing a pivotal role, and then you sell Pavard to replace him with Akanji, but there was not a net gain there because you replace one center back with another, which is ridiculous to me. Like, they needed to fortify the back line. I unfortunately do not trust Inter until consistently proven otherwise to see games out. When you have a 1-0 lead, 70, 75th, 80th minute, to actually close out an opponent in a gritty game. I don't trust them to do that. And it's not just even a matter of the back line. And I know, Jerry, you've seen this as well, but Jan Sommer, who, he's up there in years, has been a very good keeper, excellent keeper for Inter the past couple of seasons. But now we're starting to maybe get into the Samir Handanovic territory, where the years are starting to catch up with his reflexes, because he's put in some howler performances, like against, Inter would have seen that game out, or at least drawn with Juventus, had it not been for errors by their goalkeeper. So unfortunately, they cannot count on consistency from him anymore in his mid to late 30s now. And so it's just the issue. Like, Inter, obviously, there's still questions about Kivu being a very, very young manager, but
36.
36 is Jan Sommer. Thank you. And so there's still questions about Kivu, no question. But in terms of Inter's roster, the midfield matches up favorably with anyone else in Italy. They're capable of winning midfield matchups. They have top-line players at forward. I know Lautaro goes through his slumps sometimes, but Lautaro he's world-class when he's on. And Thuram also, when he's on, is world-class. Like, Inter are capable of scoring. They're capable of winning the midfield battles. But I do not trust the back line. And unfortunately, I'm no longer trusting their goalkeeper to see these games out and keep from conceding ridiculous goals. And yeah, listen, they probably have a good enough squad. They're certainly not in the top 4 right now. They're 10th on the table. They certainly have a squad good enough to place top 4 and get back to Champions League. But I don't believe this squad is going to be able to win a Scudetto this season when you can't trust them to win the gritty 1-0 games, which are a trademark of Italian champions. Italian champions are teams that are capable of winning ugly.
Do you think that going to the finals in Champions League in 2 of the last 3 years, I think it is, always competing till a far and a couple of finals in Coppa Italia they've had, playing in the Supercoppa, playing in for a Scudetto the last 2-3 years, they've been to the final rounds of trying to win or have won. Do you think this catches up to the team? Because then you have to add on playing in Europe. International playing. You got World Cup, Euro Cup. I think that, and then your star players never get a break, because during the season you're getting recalled, and when you're on break, on your semi break, it's always the same star players. And I feel like Inter have a lot of good quality players in past seasons where they don't get that break because of how good they are and what they're asked to do. So I wonder if a guy look at Barella. I think it's his Uncle Sharma did a really good tweet, I think it was years ago, and he compared about how he started versus the amount of miles or kilometers he's run, and you can see how he's aged so quickly, and I think in a 4-year span. I would like to ask him that. I remember he talked about that because Sharma is very big on what players run in a game, and he was really good, always spotting out Brozovic. Brozovic was always talked about how Brozovic
he ran like a marathon every game.
Yeah, every game, and like it catches up to you. You can see how Barella is not the same player like he used to be, where he was very quick on the ball and like he can make a quick decision. I feel like he's kind of tailed off a bit. Like when you're running 10 miles, how do they measure
10
it?
kilometers, however
10
many,
kilometers,
miles,
10 kilometers. Like it's a lot, man. Every game, and then you got put training after that, and so I do believe that this Inter side might struggle because of fatigue. You can see how a lot of their games so far this season they're on and off, and it's gonna be hard for Kivu to kind of get that balance for his team. But like again, you guys can. I think fans need to like step back a little bit and be like, "Oh my god, well, I told you not to hire this guy. You think we were gonna win in a week?" Like it doesn't matter who you hire at this point. Like the team, you can say he's a very inexperienced manager, but like you said, they didn't address a lot of areas. Like I don't understand why they got rid of Pavard for another player, and like they should have just kept Pavard, and that backline would have been much better then. Like, was he bad at any time? Like, would you?
No, I don't think he was ever bad. I think they were concerned that he tends to be injury prone. I think is why they decided to move on from him. I think it's because they can't count on him to get through a full season.
And let's keep it chirpy. That makes sense. Like,
right. I mean, who's 100 years old?
Talk about being stupid now, eh? And did you see what he said today, or I think yesterday? He's like, oh, he felt betrayed by Spalletti. That's why he denied like a recall or call out to the Azzurri.
Yeah.
And now that
petty.
Yeah, like now that thing is there, Gattuso, he'd be open to a call. Well, who's gonna call up this old bum? Okay, buddy, you're 36 years old, 37, 38. Can you just finish your contract and go home and go make wine or something like Spalletti does? Like, I don't know, man. Like these guys need to let go. Like like Busquets retired today. Good for him, man.
Yeah. I think he's going to retire at the end of the season.
Oh, at the end of the season?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But good on him, man. Like he did the right path though. He went to MLS, and I think a lot of good players who cannot play at the top level anymore should go to the MLS. I know earlier I said that the MLS sucks. It doesn't suck. It's just a different skill set.
It's elite. Like
different, man.
Usually, if you're a big time player in MLS, it means you're either on your way up or on your way down. Like that's not where you play. If you're a great player, that's not where you spend your prime years, right? It's a good way to kind of cash in late in your career, or maybe to start your career. But yeah, Jerry, going back to the excellent point you made about all the games that Inter have played, which I would assume is like by far the most of any Serie A club the last few years, given the deep Champions League runs. And just the amount of internationals that they have, on the team, like players in national teams in Italy and other countries, they probably have more mileage on their legs. And it's absolutely taking a toll because, they're getting to like similar stages that teams like PSG and Real Madrid are getting to in terms of the amount of games and competitions, but they don't have the type of depth that those teams do, right? And listen, I know you don't have to remind me that they got obliterated in the Champions League final by PSG, but like they're getting as deep in these competitions as the PSGs of the world are, and they don't have that sort of depth. And like, this is not me making an excuse. I think this is me speaking facts that, if Inter had been knocked out in like the round of 16 in the Champions League last year, they win the Scudetto with little issue, because like Napoli didn't win it the way that they won it 3 years ago last year, where they just obliterated the entire field. Like Napoli won the Scudetto because nobody else wanted to win it, essentially. And good for them, because they grinded out just, one extra result that Inter and the Atalantas and the Juves and company just couldn't grind out last season. But, if Inter hadn't made a deep Champions League run, they would have finished out that Scudetto. And that's not me making an excuse for the club. That's me actually calling out Inter management, because they turned, I think, a higher profit than they had turned in many years. Like they, no worries about financial fair play or anything. They could have spent a lot more than they did in the transfer market, but they have an American transitionary ownership group, right? Which is a hedge fund that's looking to eventually sell the club and turn a profit. So they've got spending restrictions. Like they don't want to go out and spend the way teams that are owned by oil money and royalty from Middle Eastern countries want to go out and spend. And so they're missing big opportunities because of that. And I agree with what you said about Kivu. Like I think maybe Inter could have been a little bit more ambitious than to hire someone with 10 games of Serie A experience. But at the same time, I don't blame him that they're in 10th in the table right now. I think that's more on the way the roster was constructed by management. So it's one of those things.
Well, I see the comment here, Mkhitaryan, Cherby, and Darmian continue to get talked about as starters. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll say one thing about Mkhitaryan. Guy looks good for his age, considering
he doesn't like you remember when and Mkhitaryan in his mid-late 30s, everyone remembers when Inter years ago signed a 30-year-old Raja Nainggolan who was smoking cigarettes, and he was like a 40-year-old in a 30-year-old's body. Mkhitaryan is not like that, but he's an older fella. He shouldn't be playing as much as he is.
But I'll counter that. Like, I think what allows him to play in games at such a late age still is I think he's very smart. He's very positional when you watch him. Like you don't catch him out of position. Like he's a sound midfielder. You know what I mean? Like he gives you what you need. So I would use him more as a substitute. That I would do. Yeah. But these guys shouldn't be starting. I agree. Again, a lot of these managers are so past tense. Like they don't allow young players to develop. Like the minute they see them screw up in a game, it's over. And I just don't understand that theory, man. Like that mentality. But I guess it's old school mentality. Like it's bad, man. But yeah, I guess we can shift off to our boy Chiesa if you want.
Yeah. So Liverpool confirmed that Chiesa will replace Giovanni Leone as in the club's list A for the Champions League. Leone suffered an ACL injury against Southampton. So, Jerry, do you feel that this is Federico Chiesa, whose career, like 7-8 years ago, you would have thought this guy is going to go to the moon, going to be one of the great, possibly like one of the better Italian players of all time, and the career has not gone that way for him, for club or country. I mean, outside the Euro win for Italy was a big thing a few years ago. But is this Chiesa's last chance, you think?
I think it might be, because I don't know what his contract is with Liverpool. I think he has a year left, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he has to take advantage of any playing opportunity he has. And I mean that it doesn't mean just scoring. I think he just has to play his game, try to be effective, winning battles, advancing the ball, don't turn over the ball, don't be a liability in conceding goals. Like he just has to he's got to take it game by game. Any opportunity he gets, he has to make something out of it in order to get the coach, and not even for his team. I think that if he's able to just make the most of what he gets here, and if teams abroad see this, he'll have an opportunity to join another club and start clean. I think he has to look at it like that. Like you can't
I'd love to see him come back to Serie A. That's what I would want. I didn't even care which club. I want to see him back in Italy to get another chance.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, he just has to it's baby steps.
Yeah.
You have to gradually get back to what you were, or at least try to get to that level. Do I think that it will work out for him? The problem is that the EPL is so much harder than Serie A in so many ways. I'm sorry. I know that Serie A is Yeah, I know I think it's harder in the aspect that you have to be physically fit. You can't be injury prone all the time. Like I find that the EPL is much more demanding of a player, of how physical it is, how intense it is, how fast it is. Whereas Chiesa would be more benefiting in Serie A because it's more tactical. The game
That's right.
slows down a lot in Serie A. Like you don't need to be as physical. You don't need to be as quick. I think you just need to be quicker with the mindset of making that quick pass, making that quick decision. But yeah, we'll see what happens, right? I think it's at the end of the day, he has the opportunity. He just has to make the most out of it. And he can't
And I
get
agree with
discouraged.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I agree with everything you said about like the tactical differences, and I'll just add one thing
yeah,
to it also, with clubs like Liverpool and the top clubs in England being just a lot deeper. That if
mm-hmm.
you get one opportunity and you don't make the most of it, you're not going to get as much grace and as many future opportunities. Like as a Chiesa playing for an Italian club, he goes out there one match, he stinks up the joint. He's going to get 7, 8 more chances to bring his form
It's
back
true.
up, and you don't get that for the top English clubs either. Oh man,
I I do like that point.
yeah.
That's actually a very good
Any
point.
any thoughts going into some of the weekend matchups? Someone pointed out that with Inter at Cagliari tomorrow, it's going to be Esposito versus Esposito with older brother Sebastiano on Cagliari and younger brother Pio, who I hope gets some game time on Inter because I really like Pio a lot. So we got brother versus brother. The Saturday matchups, Jerry, are Como hosting Cremonese. Cremonese, a good story with how they played so far. Juventus hosting Atalanta. That's a good game. The Inter Cagliari. And then on Sunday, we have Sassuolo home to Udinese. Verona at Roma. Pisa hosting Fiorentina. Lecce hosting Bologna. And the biggest one of the weekend, Milan hosting Napoli. And
Boring.
you think it's you don't like that game? I mean, it might be boring, but that's going to be a big result. Whoever wins.
I'm just joking. I want to talk about the Juventus game because I saw this headline where I sent you. Hold on. So reports from Italy suggest that Juventus could bench Dusan Vlahovic and even look to sell him in January in order to give him more space to Jonathan David, despite the Serbian's decent start to the season. So TMW Radio, Tutto Mercato, something, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, Tutto Mercato Web. Yeah. Basically, the pundits were divided on whether or not the Bianconeri should part ways with Vlahovic in January, with a number of top clubs in Italy and the Premier League reportedly monitoring the striker's situation. So I see two things here. Juventus is screwed because they're going to lose this guy on a free transfer now. Unless they decide to sell him before January, try to get something an early sell.
It feels like they've been trying to freeze him out of the club for years.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if it's been like 2 straight transfer windows, but they keep trying to freeze him out. They can't get rid of the guy, but yet he still makes plays for them when he's called upon.
So I think I'm not a fan of Jonathan David.
And you're Canadian, so you would know. You'd know better than me.
I'm not hating on Juve, Cliff. Go eat a Cliff Bar, man.
I mean, he owns the company. He's a billionaire. He owns Cliff Bar. Go eat one of your bars.
It's not about hating Juventus. I think this is a situation they didn't manage properly from the get-go. Like, you can't make it obvious that you're trying to sell a player, and then all of a sudden, because you couldn't sell a player, you decide, oh, you know what, we'll keep you. You pamper him again. Like, it doesn't work like that. I think things have to be in closed doors sometimes, where if business is not there, this is still a player you signed and has astronomical wages. Is like, you gotta try to get the most out of him then. Like, I just don't think the situation was ever handled properly. And then you got Vlahovic now, who's shoving it up their butt and saying, you know what, I still have a lot to offer. I do think that his wages are astronomical, but at the end of the day, regardless of what he's being paid, if you're paying him that much and you can't sell him, he's got to be your first option. Now, I'm not. Is that Vlahovic calling you?
I wasn't sure if you knew. I was getting a phone call from somebody
Dusan?
I work with, but I popped
You
in
sure
the
it wasn't
voicemail.
Dusan?
I mean, unless he like literally took the phone of a friend of mine, I don't think it was him, but it could be him. It could be Cliff calling me to stop to make you stop talking bad about Juventus.
But at the end of the day, like, why would you bench Vlahovic now? Like, he should be starting tomorrow. He's earned that position right now until he starts to play poor. I know you signed Jonathan David. This signing will never make sense to me. In past seasons, I've watched him with Leo. He's a poacher. This is not a tactical guy. I don't see this guy can, like, I think Vlahovic can create a play without the ball. He's very good running in spaces. I think that regardless of what it was like last season, he couldn't score. I think that one thing Dusan is really good at is he allows players to get open because of his physicality. Like, the scoring part, yeah, you can say that he should be scoring more. I agree with that part, but you can't just say he's just a total whole incomplete player. Like,
right.
There are aspects to his game that are not bad. I just think that Jonathan David is one-dimensional, and that's it. And I just think he's going to fail at Juventus. I think he's going to fail. I really do. That's just I've seen a lot of French players. I've seen a lot of players come out of the French league
from France,
who come from France who I thought were really good. I think Marcus Thuram was from Ligue 1. He started there. Yeah. Really good player. Eden Hazard, great player, came from Ligue 1. Camavinga came from Ligue 1. I just don't think Jonathan David is as good as Canadians have to make him out to be. Why? Because he's the starting striker for Canada. Oh, look, we have a guy who can score now for Canada. Like, get off the freaking crack that you're having or something to make you think this guy's fucking good, man. Excuse my language. It's been a while since I actually swore. I don't.
You try to keep your dad now. You try to keep the language clean.
Yeah, I don't really like swearing as much anymore. But yeah, I don't know why everyone gets so hyped up about Jonathan David. Why? Because he plays for Juventus now. So all of a sudden, because he plays for Juve, oh, look who we have, this Canadian superstar. Please, I hope, for my sake now, I hope he chokes. I really do. I hope he chokes, man. I cannot stand that guy.
Well, we'll run on that note because I have to call Dusan back from the call that I missed earlier. We appreciate everybody for tuning in to Calcio Connection, and huge thank you as always to Jerry. Jerry, do you want to promote your social media? Because I know you gotten a little active again on X or Twitter or whatever we call it now.
I do a tweet a week, maybe if lucky.
Oh, that's it.
I regurgitate my previous tweets like from like 10 years ago, and that's it. That's how lazy I am. I'll just like find something I like that I tweeted, and I'll just do it again. I'll repost it, and that's it. I'm lazy, man.
Twitter's you're the opposite of lazy. You're preoccupied with your young child is all it is. You know your priorities have changed is all it is.
Well, yeah, like I guys, I never knew why people were tired when they had a kid. I'm like, oh, it's nothing. Come out, buddy. I pass out at 7:00. Never mind 9. Like, I wish my daughter would just sleep on me like 3 hours, never wake up. I'm like, I missed the first 3 months. Now it's like she's almost starting to learn how to walk, and like it's so much work, man.
Oh, just wait till she can walk and she's free range, and it's a whole different ball game then.
Yeah, I can already tell. My neighbor's having a 4th kid. I don't know how, man.
I only have one kid, and that's it. And I don't know how people with that many kids. I don't know 2, let alone 4. I don't know how they do it.
Buddy, 4. If you have 4 kids, how do you have time to take a shit? That's what I want to know.
I don't know.
I don't even have the time to eat or anything. Like, it's ridiculous, man. Like, my wife, it's amazing when she's with my daughter, and like she has no time to eat, so she'll just grab a slice of toast and just smack some Nutella on it and eat it.
I remember those days for sure. Well, we'll hope Jerry can get some sleep this weekend. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll talk to you next time on another episode of the Calcio Connection podcast. Ciao.